Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying into a world shrouded in mystery and power, a realm that existed alongside the pharaohs and pyramids. We're delving into the fascinating world of magic, superstition, and the occult in ancient Egypt. Forget what you've seen in the movies. The real story is far more intriguing. Magic in ancient Egypt wasn't some fringe activity performed in secret. It was a fundamental part of life, deeply woven into religion, medicine, and daily routines. The Egyptians called it Heka, and they didn't see it as supernatural. To them, Heka was a natural force, a power given to humanity by the creator god to navigate the challenges of existence. It was the energy that held the cosmos together, and both gods and mortals could wield it. Priests were often the most powerful magicians, using their knowledge to protect the state, heal the sick, and ensure the favor of the gods. So, how did they practice this magic? It was a sophisticated art, often involving intricate rituals, powerful spoken spells, and a variety of special objects. Imagine a priest, known as a lector priest, unrolling a papyrus scroll inscribed with hieroglyphs. He would recite the incantations in a precise, powerful tone, believing the spoken word itself had creative force. These weren't just random words, they were divine utterances, formulas for creation and protection. They believed that to know the true name of something was to have power over it. This is why names, especially those of gods and pharaohs, were so carefully guarded. Amulets were another cornerstone of Egyptian magic. These weren't just lucky charms. They were potent objects, imbued with specific magical properties. You've probably seen the Ankh, the symbol of life, or the Adjat, the Eye of Horus, which represented healing, protection, and well-being. People from all walks of life, from the pharaoh to the humble farmer, wore these amulets. They were placed on their bodies, woven into their clothing, and, most importantly, wrapped within the layers of a mummy's bandages to protect the deceased on their perilous journey into the afterlife. Each amulet had a purpose. The jed pillar for stability, the scarab beetle for rebirth, and the tayet, not for the protection of the goddess Isis, but magic wasn't just for grand ceremonies or the afterlife. It was a tool for everyday problems. If you were sick, you wouldn't just see a doctor. You'd also consult a magician. Medical treatments often combined practical remedies, like herbal poultices, with magical spells. A physician might set a broken bone while a priest recited an incantation to drive away the malevolent spirits believed to have caused the injury. They saw no conflict between science and magic. They were two sides of the same coin, both essential for a complete cure. They had spells to ward off scorpion stings, cure headaches, and even mend a broken heart. Love and relationships were also a major focus of magical practice. Love spells were incredibly common. People would use figurines, potions, and incantations to attract a specific person or to ensure their partner remained faithful. These spells could be quite intense, sometimes invoking powerful gods to bind two people together. On the flip side, if a relationship went sour, there were also spells to cause separation. These magical practices reveal a deeply human side to the ancient Egyptians, showing they had the same desires, fears, and heartaches that we experience today. Of course, where there is magic for good, there is also magic for harm. Curses were a very real fear. Execration rituals were a type of state-sanctioned dark magic used to protect Egypt from its enemies. Priests would write the names of rival kingdoms or rebellious leaders on clay pots or wax figures. Then, in a formal ceremony, they would smash, burn, or stomp on these objects, believing this symbolic act would magically weaken or destroy the actual enemies they represented. These rituals were a powerful psychological tool, reinforcing the idea of Egyptian supremacy and cosmic order. One of the most elaborate and vital uses of magic was for the afterlife. The journey through the underworld, the duat, was seen as a dangerous and terrifying ordeal, filled with monstrous demons and difficult tests. To navigate it successfully, the deceased needed a guide, and that guide was the Book of the Dead. This wasn't a single book, but a collection of magical spells and incantations written on papyrus scrolls and placed in the tomb. These spells were the ultimate life hack. For the afterlife, they allowed the deceased to transform into powerful beings, answer the tricky questions of the gods, and overcome the beasts that lurked in the darkness. Without these spells, it was believed a soul could be lost forever. Superstition also played a huge role in daily life. Dreams were not just random thoughts. They were messages from the gods or omens of the future. Special priests were tasked with interpreting dreams to guide the decisions of the pharaoh and ordinary people. Certain days were considered lucky or unlucky based on mythological events. Calendars were filled with notations, warning people not to travel, start new projects, or even go outside on particularly dangerous days when malevolent forces were thought to be strong. Sneezing was thought to be a good omen, while an itch in the left palm might mean you were about to lose money. These beliefs governed everyday behavior, creating a shared cultural understanding of how to stay on the right side of fate. The world of the ancient Egyptians was alive with unseen forces. Gods, spirits, and magical energies were present in every aspect of their existence. Heka was not an evil or forbidden art. It was a divine tool, a way of maintaining balance, or mat, in a chaotic universe. It was used to protect the pharaoh, Ilte-Sik, ensure a bountiful harvest, and guide the soul safely to paradise. This belief system demonstrates an incredible and complex worldview, one where the mystical and the mundane were completely intertwined. It reminds us that for the ancient Egyptians, the world was a far more magical place than we can possibly imagine. Thank you so much for joining us on this magical journey back in time. What part of Egyptian magic do you find most fascinating? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. Until next time, stay curious.